Thank
You
you.
too, everyone.
Tonight we are reading After Ashley. Playing Justin Hammond.
Bernie Bosio.
Playing Ashley
Really?
Hammond.
Liz, Bernie's playing my son. Okay.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it works.
Well,
it works. All right.
I've been 17 at least 5 times in my life.
Okay. Yeah.
Playing Aiden Hammond. Aiden Hammond is being played by
Alden.
Is he muted? Does he not want to speak? No. Okay. No. Playing David Gavin.
Kevin Bain.
Playing Julie Bell.
Ashley Wool.
And playing Roderick Lord. And Dr. Bob.
David Mackler.
Act 1, the Hammond family living room, Bethesda, Maryland, a suburb of Washington, D.C., summer of 1999. Justin, 14, is homesick from school, convalescing under a blanket and watching TV with his mother, Ashley, 35. In darkness, we hear the voice of Dr. Bob, a talk show psychologist. He has loud, authoritative voice and speaks to his audience slowly, gently, and deliberately, as if anticipating they won't understand him. Only a flickering light indicates the television, illuminating the 2 people watching it. But through Dr. Bob's speech, this dim flicker gives way to a fully illuminated stage.
And I will say to you what I say to my patients in private practice. There are 5 things you need to know to get yourself a life license. You ignore these rules and you are living without a license and you will be pulled over. You will find yourself stalled on the expressway while the other drivers speed ahead. There are 5 rules, and number 1 is your eyes are open or your eyes are closed, but they can't be both. And if they're closed, you are getting ready to drive right into a wall. You're gonna hurt yourself and maybe somebody else. And number 2, you can drive without a map, but you will get lost and you will reach your destination either too late for dinner or not at all. Number 3, if you do not focus, you will miss your exit. And you can go back and correct your error, but you're going to lose time and you're going to be late for dinner. And that's rule number 4. If you do not show up in time for dinner, there is no guarantee of leftovers. And what do we know about leftovers? They are often cold and they are not fresh.
Click. I'm sorry. I can't listen to this. This man is an idiot.
Well, I want to hear what he tells the couple with the incompatible sex drives. I want to see if he tells them to split up.
Oh, I can't believe you watched this. He's a moron. The people who talk to him are morons.
Morons with incompatible sex drives. What do you think they should do?
I don't care.
Oh, that's not helpful, Justin. These people have incompatible sex drives and they are asking for help. What should they do?
They should stay home. They should have some dignity.
You think sexual dysfunction is shameful?
I think it's private.
So they should stay home and be sexually incompatible and not tell anyone?
No, they should go to a doctor or something. His degree is in sociology, you know. He's not even licensed.
I'm not converted. I haven't bought his book yet.
Mom, you cannot buy his book.
I know.
He named his book after an Eagles song. He is beyond ridiculous.
Well, sometimes I think I want that, though. You know, life in the fast lane, don't you?
What?
Life in the fast lane. Doesn't it sound sort of great?
It sounds like an Eagles song.
Well, it sounds, you're no fun. Listen to you. Dignity, privacy. He's not licensed. Whose child are you?
I just think he's a fraud. I could give better advice than that.
Really? Can I tell you my problems?
I guess. Is it time for me to take more Advil?
I don't know.
He was supposed to write it down.
Oh, fuck. I'm a bad mother. Are you hot?
Yeah.
So take more. It's not going to kill you. So let's talk about how you got this. Is she cute?
What do you mean?
Mono's the kissing disease, right? I want to know who you're kissing.
I'm not kissing anyone.
Yeah. So, how'd you get it?
Teenagers get it. I might have drunk out of somebody's soda. I don't know.
Okay, fine. If you're not opening up to me, I'm not opening up to you.
You can ask at school. I'm the only one in my class who has it.
So you're messing around with someone who doesn't go to school with you? Intriguing, can I guess?
I'm not messing around.
The girl who babysits for the strollers?
Oh, no.
She's cute though, isn't she?
She's fine.
The stroller's maid?
You're insane. She's like 40 years old.
So she's not sexy? I'm almost 40. If you're kissing, we should have a sex talk.
Ugh, I'm not kissing.
Well, let's have it anyway. You're here. I'm here. Let's have a sex talk.
No!
How about a drug talk? Should we have a drug talk?
I'm not. You really think you should do the drug talk?
Yeah, I don't. I know about. What do you mean by that?
Nothing. I feel like shit. I don't want to have any talks.
Well, why do you think I shouldn't do the drug talk? I know about drugs.
No kidding.
Speak.
You know what I'm not completely stupid, you know. I know you smoke pot.
Is that a problem?
Normally, no. When it's 95 degrees and I have mono, it makes me sort of nauseous.
How?
I can smell it. I'm not 9 anymore.
You know what I want to tell you about pot?
No.
I'm a very unusual smoker. I smoke it now and then, but I'm not addicted. It doesn't interfere with my life.
Okay.
So if you're thinking of experimenting, just keep that in mind. You might really like it, and there's no guarantee you could control it like I do. I'm an occasional smoker, and not everyone can do that.
Does smoking every day make you an occasional smoker?
I don't smoke every day.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, I do. I do, and I'm glad we're talking about this.
So does that mean I can try it out?
You can try it out with me. If you're going to try it anyway, we should do that. Do you want to do that?
Maybe.
I think we should. I think we should do that. I have some. Do you want to try it now?
Yeah, definitely, Mom. I have 102-degree fever, and I'm like colonized by virus. I should probably try pot now.
I'm sorry. I'm not mellow now.
No, you're like all agitated.
I know. Why don't we have the sex talk?
No, Mom, Jesus, what the fuck?
I'm sorry. You know, I just need to talk. I just need to do and
So talk, go ahead. I just don't want to have a sex talk.
okay. But what if I do?
About me or about you?
About you. But by the way of me.
I'm not sure what that means.
It's not a sex talk. It's more like a life talk. I'm just I just have been feeling like something's got to change, you know. Okay. I know you hate Dr. Bob, but he talks about, you know, traveling without a map. And I feel like that's exactly what I did. I didn't use a map. And now here I am, and it's all wrong. And the choice is keep going or exit. And
Oh, can you talk about this without the road metaphor?
don't get married young. I got married young and I fucked up my life.
Okay.
Don't get married until you're 30, 35. You don't know who you are in your 20s. Try not to get a girl pregnant. But if you do, have an abortion. It's not the end of the world. You'll be traumatized for like 2 days, but then you'll get over it.
Did you have an abortion?
No, but I could have. And look, I love you more than anything. You're the only good thing in my life. But I was 21 and I didn't know myself and I didn't know your dad at all. We'd been dating like a couple of months, a little longer.
So I'm an accident?
Yeah. Should I not have told you that?
I'm not sure.
Am I screwing you up by telling you this?
I don't know yet.
I was just way too young. I was 21, which I know sounds really old to you, but oh my God. Sometimes I look at you and I think you should be demented. I can't believe you're not totally demented.
Why? Because you got stoned when you were pregnant?
No. We bought a house and your dad went to work and there I was with you. I'm 21 and I'm a housewife, and it was okay when you were a baby, and I just sort of strapped you on and took you places. But when you started to walk, oh, Jesus Christ, my whole life was chasing after you, making sure you didn't kill yourself. And I got so depressed, really psycho depressed. I used to stick you in your crib and go smoke, and then you'd cry and I'd go back in because I felt guilty. And the crib like I was in jail, and I would cry. And then you'd cry because I was crying, and if I'd cry more because what kind of horrible mother makes her baby cry, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if you should be telling me this.
It's okay, see? Because you're great. You're amazing. You survived me. But that's you, and you're extraordinary. Don't do what I did. Don't be irresponsible and wreck your life and fuck up your kid and have a wife who hates you.
You hate Dad?
He's fine. He's a fine person. We just have nothing in common. If we dated even a month longer, I think we'd have figured that out. Do not marry someone you don't know well. I'm sorry. I know he's your father, but he drives you crazy too. I can see it.
He's fine.
Right. He's fine. For someone else, he's fine. He's just not like us.
He's just sort of straight.
Straight-laced, you mean? No
Yeah.
kidding. He's rigid is what you're saying.
I'm not saying anything.
And a hypocrite. He's a huge fucking hypocrite.
Why?
His big liberal heart bleeds for the downtrodden masses. He's losing sleep over people he doesn't know while his own house goes to shit.
You think I'm going to shit?
No, I don't. I was being vague and inconclusive, so sorry. Well, I lost the page. It happens. No, I don't. No, I was being vague and inconclusive, so it wouldn't seem like I was complaining about my marriage, which of course I am. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I don't have anyone else to talk to.
Well, you need friends. Like, I don't know, maybe one of the other moms?
No, they're all too old. I went to a PTA meeting. I felt like a freak. I need a job, but I have no skills.
You teach art. That's a job.
Not really. It's a play job. It's part-time, and I'm not good at it. I don't like children, and I'm not a good artist.
You're a really good artist.
You're sweet, but you know, I'm not. That's what I would have figured out if I hadn't gotten married so young. I would have tried to get my art into shows and stuff, and I would have failed, but it would have been okay because I would have been young enough to switch careers.
Well, you can switch careers now.
Yeah, but what would I do? I have no idea what I would do. That's the problem with Dr. Bob. He says it's okay to change lanes, but he doesn't, he's never specific.
Right. He's an idiot. Did you just say you hate children?
Yeah, I do. I always have. I mean, you can't say that. It's like being a racist or a fascist or something. You just can't say it, but I don't think they're cute. I don't think their artwork their little clay animals are cute. I'm a fucking fraud as a teacher.
Did something happen?
What do you mean?
Why is this happening now?
Why? What's happening?
You freaking out.
I'm not freaking out. I'm just, I don't know. Midlife crisis, maybe.
35 isn't midlife anymore.
I know. I just, I'm not happy.
Maybe you should go into therapy or something.
We went to marriage therapy. Counseling didn't work. Remember when you had that babysitter so we could go take cooking lessons? That was a lie. We were in therapy. It didn't work.
Then you should get a divorce.
Oh, we can't do that. But if we did, who would you want to live with?
Well, you, probably.
See? He's impossible, right?
He's fine. He tries. He's not. I would choose you. Let's just leave it at that. Why can't you get a divorce?
We talked about it. We don't have enough money for 2 households, and you have to go to college.
I can go to a state school. You shouldn't stay together because of that. Highway metaphor, but maybe you should take a trip. Seriously, like go to Europe for a month, a couple of months, bum around.
I think a lot of this is about sex, you know.
Oh, okay, no, you can't.
I'm 35, and I've never had like movie sex.
About you and sex, I just can't.
It's not just about me, though. I was going to tell you about me, and then there would be a moral, not a moral, a message fuck. I just want to encourage you to sleep with a lot of people before you get married, safely,
Wow.
you know, and respectively. God, we should talk about that too, you know, about not being a dick, because that song, you know, Joe Jackson, it's different for girls. It is different for girls, young girls anyway. Right now, I could fuck someone who didn't care about me. I could do that. Right now, I could fuck like 9 people who don't.
Different girls.
Are you sure?
Positive. This girl keeps telling him it's different for girls, and then she dumps him, and the song is like, it's angry. He's saying it's not different for girls. Guys get hurt too.
Wow. See? You're so much smarter than me. That's the other thing. I'm not that bright. I mean, I get by. I'm not retarded, but your dad is super smart, and so are you. I'm really average. But back to the sex and respect. You need to be really respectful, because when you're young, sex is serious for girls and guys, with the possible exception of Joe Jackson. Just see it as getting off. So don't be a dick.
Sleep with lots of women, but don't be a dick.
You're right. I should clarify that. What I mean is that your father is the second person I ever slept with, and the first person I only did it with once. And you can't learn all there is to know about sex from one person, especially if you're not sexually compatible with that person, which is my case. In my case, I'm not.
Holy fuck. I better wake up tomorrow, and this all better be a dream.
Why?
Because you're telling me my father is... You just can't do that. You can't. You can't talk to me like this.
I know. I wish you were a girl sometimes.
You can't talk to a daughter like this either. Are you nuts?
Yes. Yeah. There's something really wrong with me.
You're fine. You lack a fucking peer group is the problem. Oh, what about that woman you went to galleries with?
I'm sorry. Marcy.
Yes.
She had a wait. Where are we?
Yes.
Where are we?
Yes, bottom of 1918, it looks like.
I know. Oh, Marcy. She had a baby. She's boring now. Something did happen.
What do you mean?
I didn't do it.
Do what?
A guy, one of the dads at school, he hit on me.
Okay.
The first few times I didn't even get it. I'm so out of touch. But he kept it up.
Do I know him?
No. This kid is 5. You wouldn't. He kept it up, and I just never took the hint. So finally he gave me his number and said, call me. Let's get a drink. And I felt so shitty, you know. He must think I'm stupid, so dense. It was like weeks and weeks of really obvious sexual innuendo, when I had clay on my face, he'd like wipe it off and say something like, oh, your teacher is very dirty.
Oh, Jesus.
Obvious, right?
Cheesy.
You think?
Yeah.
So I have his number, and part of me really wants to call.
Well, what do you want me to say?
I want someone to tell me what to do.
You're talking about my dad.
I know. Forget it. I'll get a therapist or something. A licensed one. Are you pissed at me now?
No, I can't really be your girlfriend, you know?
Well, I know. Marriage is hard. People used to die at 35, you know. We weren't meant to be together this long. Can I give you advice that's non-sexual?
Okay.
When you fall in love with a girl, think really hard about her exceptional qualities. Like maybe she's really supportive of your work, or maybe she tells you you're gorgeous when you're having sex with her. Think good and hard about these things, because 10 years down the road, these are the things that are going to drive you fucking apeshit.
So you're telling me my marriage is doomed? I'm going to wind up hating my wife.
No, that wasn't my point. I believe in love.
It doesn't sound like it.
No, I do. I guess what I'm saying is get to know her. Wait until you're a little bit sick of her, and then decide if you want to marry her.
Marry a girl I'm sick of?
Yeah. If you're sick of her and you still want to be with her, yeah, it will probably last.
You have no idea what you're talking about, do you? You're making this shit up as you go along.
No, the last part, yeah, I don't know anything about successful relationships. So I'm sort of pulling that out of my ass, as the kids say.
What did you like about Dad when you liked him?
The exact same stuff that pisses me off now. His sensitivity. When I was 20, I thought it was just amazing that a guy could be so passionate about the pro-choice movement. He would say things like, "Your body is your own." And I got weak. I remember there was a series of rapes on our campus, and he cried. I swooned over that, you know.
And now you think these are bad things?
Not bad. Phony or something. I mean, he can read about a massacre in Africa and just, he feels their pain, you know. But when it's people he knows, well, real people aren't pure innocence, you know.
No?
It's no great feat to pity strangers. The test of humanity is to feel sorry for people you know well enough not to like. Alden?
Patient.
Hey.
Hey.
Is your fever down?
I'm not sure.
You should probably check his temperature.
He's taking Advil. It'll go down when it goes down.
What are we watching?
Dr. Bob.
Why is the sound off?
Because he's a moron.
Well, why are we watching him if he's a moron?
I'll turn it off.
So what's up?
Where have you been?
I have been at a school board meeting, Starbucks and Borders. I brought you something. Remember? I was telling you.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
And it's an audiobook, so you can just listen. Now that you're feeling a little bit better, we should work on making better use of this downtime. Find some entertainment options besides the TV.
Okay.
If you had a school board meeting, that means you're writing tonight.
I am writing, yes, a small piece. This was a very interesting meeting concerning the foreign language curriculum at the high school level. Did you take Latin?
No, Spanish.
Okay. Was Latin an option or did you choose?
No, there wasn't an option.
Do you really not know this stuff?
Excuse me?
Do you read his report cards?
I read them, yes. I don't memorize them, do you?
No, but I'm not an education reporter for a major newspaper. This is the stuff you maybe ought to know.
Well, The question they're grappling with is this idea that in an increasingly multicultural society, it is perhaps irresponsible to allow a dead language to fulfill a foreign language requirement, which I think is a pretty valid question.
Yeah, this country is becoming so French. I don't know what I would do without all the French I took.
Well, French is still a living language. It's still...
In any of your travels, did you happen to pick up milk?
I'm sorry, I completely forgot.
No,
I'll go.
I'll go.
I want you to call this number tomorrow.
What is this?
I met someone who is willing to do the yard work for a very reasonable sum of money.
I'll do it for a reasonable amount of money.
Well, you haven't in the last several months, so I think this is a very good option.
Why does this say payphone?
He lives in a shelter.
He's homeless?
He is homeless.
You're not serious.
I spoke with him for nearly an hour. He's a very interesting guy, highly motivated. He's trying to get on his feet.
Why is he homeless if he's highly motivated?
I'm not. You are smarter than that.
Smarter than what? Why is he homeless?
Well, that's an ignorant.
It's not ignorant. People are homeless for a reason.
Not because they're lazy.
I'm sure some people are homeless because they're lazy.
Just call him.
Some people are homeless because they're lazy. Some people are homeless because they're stupid.
I'm not going to dignify.
What?
that
Am
comment.
I wrong? You can't make these blanket statements. No one is homeless because they're lazy. All battered women are victims.
I am not going to engage you in a discussion.
Yeah, because you can't win.
No, because you're being provocative.
So homeless people are lazy. Some battered women are fucking pains in the ass.
Well, that's good. A theory to advance in front of your son.
He watches Springer. We watch it together. There are women on there who I would beat the shit out of if I had to see them every day of my life.
That's enough.
Justin agrees with me. Speaking of, does he get to weigh in on turning our home into a work camp for indigents?
Give me the number, I'll call him.
No, I'll call him. But tell me, what's wrong with him?
He is mentally handicapped.
He's retarded?
He has an affective disorder.
Which one?
He is a medicated schizophrenic.
You're an asshole.
I'm not going to talk to you when you're like this, and I'm not going to listen to the language in front of him.
I apologize, Jason. Justin.
It's unacceptable.
It's definitely not a good use of his downtime.
I'm going to make myself something to eat unless you want to.
Unless I cooked. It's 100 fucking degrees, Alden.
You should maybe rethink that divorce.
He's ridiculous. He's out at Starbucks introducing himself to street people.
Okay, but you provoke him.
That's true.
Why don't you go out?
Out where?
I don't know. Go somewhere. Air conditioned. Chill out. Go to like a bar or something.
Alone?
Look in the city paper. Find like a poetry reading or something.
Maybe.
You need to do something. You need to leave the house.
Yeah, you might be right. Should think about that.
You shouldn't think about it. You should do it. You need to find like outside activities.
I know it's hard though, you know?
A lot of things are hard. You just have to suck it up and do them, you know? Because when you leave here, I know you're either going to pick a fight with them or get stoned in your bathroom. And I think there are better options, you know?
better uses of my downtime?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, okay. City paper. I love you so much. I'm sorry I'm being a dick. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's hot. You need a change. It's not a big deal. Just
Okay.
go out, okay?
Okay, out. Mom is getting out.
Ashley leaves. Justin stares after her. The lights dim slowly. The stage gets very dark. We hear the following recorded 911 call as the set is transformed. 911, what is your emergency?
My mother in the basement.
I'm sorry, you said your mother?
She's in the basement.
Is she hurt?
Yes, you have to come right now.
Do you know the nature of...
He did something to her. There's blood everywhere.
Okay, when you say he, do you know who?
Do you have my address?
Is this person in the house with you?
Do you know my address?
I have you on the screen as Shelburne Place. Is that...
Yes. How soon?
Okay, if you believe this person may still be in the house, you need to leave.
I'm not leaving her. She's my mother.
Sir, are you near an exit?
I'm not leaving her. Jesus Christ, she's my mother.
3 years later, it's 2002 now, and we're in New York City. The lights get very bright as we transition into the set of a cable television talk show called Profiles in Justice. There's no studio audience for this show, just the host, guests, and production staff. In the transition, we hear the theme to Profiles in Justice as follows. Dramatic theme music and military-esque drums. Think wartime newscasts and police dramas. Music that promised the days will kick ass. The good guys will kick ass.
Gays.
Over this, a police siren. Oh, somebody. My daughter is
missing. She's not in her room.
Guilty of all counts.
Don't eat, don't sleep. We're coming after you. I'm not leaving her. She's my mother.
Theme music swells. David Gavin, 50s, enters and addresses the audience.
The people of this country have had enough. America's crime victims are not going to be silenced. They will not be told that justice is none of their business. Justice is my business and your business. You don't need a badge or a law degree to make justice happen. You only need a voice.
The lights rise on the set of David Gavin's television talk show. Alden and Justin are his guests.
I'm David Gavin. Tonight on Profiling Justice, I am joined by Alden Hammond and his son Justin. Alden Hammond is formerly an education reporter for the Washington Post. He is more recently the author of the critically acclaimed book, After Ashley. The book chronicles the 1999 murder of his wife, Ashley Hammond, and traces the crime's profound impact, not only on a family, but on a nation. I want to say first to both of you how sorry I am for your loss. Portion of your 911 call in the opening of our show. That's 3 years ago now, but I'll bet it seems like yesterday.
Actually, it seems like 3 years ago.
That 911 call affected a lot of people very, very deeply. That voice of that boy who wouldn't leave his mother, even while he knew the killer might still be in the house. I want our audience to hear a piece of that call.
I'm not leaving her. She's my mother.
Sir, are you near an exit?
I'm not leaving her. Jesus Christ, she's my mother.
The courage of that child. Justin, People magazine called you the 911 kid. How do you feel hearing that tape again?
Well, your decision to use my voice in your opening credits was very helpful to me.
Terrific. Helpful in what way?
Financially helpful. I'm not using drugs anymore, but when I was, the royalty checks I received from your show helped cover costs.
Can we stop?
We don't stop, but we edit.
We have discussed this. You either participate in a constructive adult fashion or you do not participate. I am fully prepared to do this alone.
What did I say? Did I lie?
Listen to me.
I can't talk? The 911 kid isn't allowed to talk?
Justin, I think it's a focus issue. The people want to hear about the book. They want to hear about the good work your dad is doing. Now, I don't believe in sugarcoating the truth. We can allude to the problems you've had, but I gotta be goal-oriented here, and the goal is to inspire. You got that?
To inspire.
Yes. I survived a violent loss, and so did you two, and that's why we're on TV instead of the ones who fell apart and gave up. We're providing an example here, okay?
Got it. I'm sorry.
No problem at all. Now let's... A simply fantastic book.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that more than I can say. The book, A Crime Against Your book, A Crime Against
You're living in Washington, D.C.
What is a crime against hope?
It's the title of, we've spoken about this. He knows.
No. I'm happy to elaborate for Justin and for any new viewers who may not know. I lost my daughter, Rachel, 10 years ago. She was murdered at 17, and I want to say to you, Justin, that even though not a day goes by that I don't think of her, the character of the pain she has changed over time. It has evolved to something that I can endure.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, that actually wasn't my question, but it's interesting.
I'm sorry. Did you have a different question that I could...
You haven't seen her in like a bunch of years, right? You split when she was, what, 7 or 8? So
That's not relevant.
No. I'll address that. Justin, you're right. I was not in my daughter's life for the last 10 years since she was alive, and I regret that terribly. I let the acrimony of my divorce affect my parenting.
well, it didn't affect it as much as it, ended it, right?
And that haunts me. It haunts me. And if I can send any message to the viewers at home, that would be it.
Don't ditch your kids.
Justin?
No. The message is that time is precious and the future uncertain. Don't postpone love. Now, Alden, take us back. You hired a homeless man by the name of Glen to do some yard work at your home.
Yes.
How did this come about?
I met him in a Starbucks in Washington. He noticed I was writing, and he asked about it. I was working on a piece about student loan issues, I believe, and he was interested. We had a somewhat lengthy discussion.
And you were struck?
I was completely. This is a man who completed 3 years of college. This is a highly educated and intelligent individual who's living on the streets because of mental illness.
But how did this evolve into a situation where he is working in your home?
I'm asked this all the time, David. We are originally from the West Coast. We had lived in communities with large homeless populations. We regarded these people as neighbors, as members of our community.
Had you ever employed one before?
No.
And whose idea?
It was mine, but my wife just immediately agreed.
I have a different memory.
This is a learned man, David.
A learned man and a man in need.
Absolutely. It was a crisis situation, really desperate poverty. And we needed to hire someone to do yard work. And we thought, okay, Here's something we can. You know, David, again, we're coming from a place where we've seen so many strategies for helping these people. We know that doesn't work, and we thought, this makes sense. Let's try this.
I have to voice my objections to the continued use of the pronoun we.
Ashley shared my concern.
She wanted to make a difference.
We both understood that it was a progressive choice.
Progressive and economical.
And how long did he work for you?
About 2 months.
What happened? I'm assuming this was 2 months without incident.
It was terrific. He worked very hard, and boundaries were respected. I mean, you torture yourself. You go back and you comb that time for any indication. I know now that he was off his medications during that time, that he was hallucinating.
But no indication.
No.
David, I'm with my dad on this one. We didn't observe anything that couldn't be written off as benign eccentricity. A lot of perfectly healthy people talk to themselves, perhaps not as extensively or enthusiastically as Glen did, but we didn't want to judge.
In any case, this arrangement went terribly wrong. This man raped and murdered Ashley Hammond. Alden, you were at work. Justin, you were asleep upstairs.
Yes.
Mr. Wise is quickly apprehended. The case is solved immediately, and he pleads guilty, so there is no trial.
We were very lucky in that regard.
But it isn't over.
Not remotely.
Talk about that. Yes, talk about that. After Ashley.
David, I wrote a series of articles for the Washington Post, which became the basis for the book. The mail we received and the coverage in other papers, it became apparent very quickly that this crime was taking on a sociological significance that I was not prepared for.
Well, talk about that significance.
What I saw was people in the district and in other states. We got mail from all over, drawing a sort of moral for our story.
Which was?
Which was don't help. It was, here's what you get if you cross the class line, if you try to make a difference with underprivileged populations in any kind of hands-on way. It was offensive to me, frankly, that this was my wife's legacy, that people who, let's be honest, were already doing nothing to help this population, were latching on to my wife's death as a justification for their apathy and inaction.
You speak in the book about your wife becoming the poster girl for white right-wing conservatives.
Oh, absolutely. Rush Limbaugh spoke about this crime on his radio show, and his message was basically, this is what you get. You become fodder. It became fodder for his anti-welfare agenda. His belief that underprivileged persons are underprivileged because they are immoral, amoral, and lazy. He seized on this case as fuel for his arguments.
Just to sort of paraphrase, if I could, David, our story, like yours, is not without a message, but we want to be very clear on what that message is.
Justin, I couldn't have said that better.
David, you said your message was don't postpone love. Ours is don't hire healthy, skilled persons for jobs a homeless person can perform for a fraction of the cost. The fact that the man we hired killed my mother should not deter anyone from bringing the homeless home. And that's our message at its most pithy. Bring the homeless home.
Can we stop taping?
We can edit it. Justin, you have a lot of anger, and that's completely valid.
These are not constructive expressions. We have discussed this, and you understand that there is a constructive way to express your feelings, which is not...
Alden, we'll fix it. Let's move on. Let's talk about the book. This is a big book, an epic book. The New York Times described it as American epic tragedy. I'd like to read a few of the reviewer's comments. Once upon a time in America before September 11th exploded, America's sense of security and hope. A young family on the outskirts of America's capital city hired a mentally challenged man to work in their home. It seems an action from another era now, time before fear fractured the American psyche. Alden, this was 1999, but there's way in which this tragedy almost prefigures September 11th.
David, I resisted that linkage for a long time, but I think there's a strange truth in it. This crime was an act that destroyed our sense of safety, not just my family's, but across the country.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to help me out. I don't understand how terrorists crashing airplanes into the World Trade Center has anything to do with my mother getting... In what era was it okay to give a psychotic stranger the key to your house? This is a totally ludicrous discussion.
Oh, okay. Let's confront the mental illness question. It obviously weighs heavily on Justin's mind. Alden, you interviewed your wife's killer extensively. You interviewed his family, and you tracked his journey through the American medical landscape. Your book is a critique, a very damning critique, with the deinstitutionalization movement in America. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
You interviewed the killer. You spent a week at his family's summer home in Maine.
Yes, I did.
Justin, I'm guessing that must have been hard on you, seeing your father make contact with the killer's family.
David, I'm not going to lie to you. Seeing my father go to the prison was hard for me to take. By the time he went on vacation with the killer's family, I was under the influence of too many drugs to feel much of anything. So that impacted me in a lesser way.
Well, Alden, you dedicate the book to Arlene Wise, the killer's mother. Why is that?
She is, like Ashley, a wife and a mother, a person of tremendous strength and character whose life is a casualty of Glen Wise, and I would argue the mental health system in this country that failed him.
Another mother, another victim.
The similarities are startling, except that she's, still alive.
Does that make you angry, Justin? Do you feel perhaps that the book should have been dedicated to you?
Not at all, David. I understand that my drug and alcohol abuse and, of course, my hospitalization and arrest impeded the completion of the book. Arlene, on the other hand, contributed childhood stories about the man who hammered my mother's head in. Arlene provided that extra special something that elevated the book from true crime pulp to American epic. So, in answer to your question about the dedication, I'm fine with it.
From enormous pain, a book of great beauty and power. Alden and Justin Hammond, I thank you very much. Please join us next week on Profile and Justice when John and Holly Pulsecheck will discuss the murder of their 6-year-old daughter, Kylie, and their campaign to take fingerprints, blood, and hair samples from every American child. I'm David Gavin. Thank you for being with us. Join us again, and don't postpone love.
I want to apologize.
Alden, there is no need.
Are you under the influence?
Not right now.
You were deliberately confrontational, and we have discussed this. We have talked with Dr. Shaw about appropriate expressions of anger. I'm sorry. This is between us. But I would like you to apologize to David.
It's not necessary.
No, we have an understanding in our family that there are consequences for inappropriate behaviors. I want you to apologize.
I apologize.
I want you to drop the snide demeanor right now and apologize genuinely.
I apologize for being confrontational and critical. I understand that this was a celebration of my father's book and my mother's life. I'm sorry that my feelings of exclusion were inappropriately expressed.
I want to say to both of you what I have said to my former wife, my daughter's mother. We each travel our own road through the dark woods that confronts us in the aftermath of violence. There is a clearing at the end of those woods. We need to be tolerant and respectful of different journeys. That means patience with the one who walks more slowly through those woods and acceptance of the one who more swiftly finds his ways. I want you both to think about that.
And did she buy that?
Excuse me?
Your ex-wife. She's suing you for like 8 years of back child support, right?
That's it. David, I will call you tomorrow to thank you properly.
Tomorrow's no good. I need a word with you before you go.
Go get a soda and wait in the car.
Yes, sir.
He'll make it. He's one whip-smart kid.
I'm tremendously embarrassed. I would not have included him if I had any idea that...
The interview was fine. We need to talk about you and your future with this network.
What do you mean?
I'm going to Los Angeles tomorrow for the Shannon Smith trial. I may be gone for a while.
Shannon Smith.
Soap opera actress murdered by a co-star. It's an awful story. The judge won't allow cameras in the courtroom, so I'm going out there. I'm going to cover the trial for Court TV and write a trial log for Esquire. Meanwhile, I've had a promotion from the network and they made me a producer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. They made me the producer in charge of crime programming. I'm looking for a series of crime-based programs down the road, but the first thing I want to do is overhaul this show. It's just not working.
I don't know that I would agree.
Alden, I'm on the woman's channel. I'm here doing Charlie Rose, and that's not what the viewers want. They want emotion. So we change the format. We continue talking to victims, but we add color. We do reenactments of crimes. The current thinking, because it's a woman's network, and because NBC is doing incredibly well with this Law and Order Special Victims Unit, the idea is to shift the focus to sex crimes. Lots of interest in sex crimes right now. I'm all for it, but I can't do it. So I spoke with the network about you, and they're very interested in you taking over as host.
Wow. My background, you know, it is print journalism.
Sure, they know, but they've seen you on television, on talk shows. You are a man making peace, and that's the energy we want. So new format. Keep the victim interviews. Limit the show to sex crimes and reenactments.
You're going to reenact sex crimes?
Tastefully. Also, one of the execs is interested in a crime prevention element. Safety tips, self-defense.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yes, you reenact, you bring on Officer Friendly to demonstrate the chokeholds. I'm being flip, of course.
You are.
The prevention angle is important to you.
The notion of serving victims is important. I think that...
Got it. We're on the same page. So this interests you?
It's unexpected, but not unwelcome by any means.
They're gonna ask to use the title.
The title?
After Ashley. They like the title very much for a woman-focused show.
Okay.
That one you can think about. Room for negotiation on all this, but that one thing may be a deal breaker. They want to move production to Florida.
Wow.
It's just too expensive here. My concern, quite frankly, is Justin.
Today was an unusually bad episode.
There's some anxiety at the network about his behavioral problems. If your kid is in trouble, I have to ask you if this is a commitment you feel you can make.
He has made extraordinary progress. Today obviously was unpleasant, but I have to tell you, today also represents an enormous leap. Since Ashley's death, we've been through drugs and alcohol and petty criminal sort of acting out stuff, and that is in the past. We made an enormous leap with his therapist in teaching him to use words to address the discomfort instead of acting destructively.
Right. Using words is good. I'm going to be blunt here. Your credibility goes out the window if you got a messed up kid, especially on a woman's show.
I completely understand. I can assure you that Justin is out of the woods. His destructive phase was just that, phase. It's over.
Can I share something with you for what it's worth?
Please.
I was a bad husband and a mediocre father. I sold kitchen counters for a living, drank a bottle of wine a day. I was a jerk. It took losing my daughter for me to see that. And when I did, it damn near destroyed me. So you know what I did? I asked for her help. I said, Rachel, show me my talent. Don't let me go to my grave disappointing you. All of this I owe to her.
I appreciate your candor.
You've read Carl Jung. You know what I'm saying. We're all born with a talent. Our journey on this planet is to find it and then find the guts to use it. My flight's at 8. Can you do a drink at your hotel in, say, an hour?
Sure.
Good man.
Are we moving to Florida?
I've been presented with an exceptional opportunity.
I heard. Are we moving to Florida?
I'd like to talk to you about it. I'd like us to sit down and brainstorm ways in which you can be part of this.
Let's bottom line this. You're going to take this job no matter what I say, right? Remember that little pact we made with Dr. Shaw? I don't bullshit you, you don't bullshit me.
I am going to take the job, and I need your commitment to supporting.
I'll keep a low profile. Oh, let's call it resort wear, plus the allowance, the apartment, and the car.
Car?
Used car, just has to run.
Fine. I think that's all fine.
Once upon a time,
A maudlin, syrupy song we associate with tributes to the dead. For example, Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven or U2's Walk On. Justin exits. David and Alden command opposite sides of the stage. Makeup artists, stage heads, ideally, rush on and apply makeup before these two go on camera. David, outside of Los Angeles courthouse, reports on the Shannon Smith trial for Court TV.
In opening statements today, we heard a story of talent, turmoil, and fatal obsession in the dream capital of the world, Hollywood. Shannon Smith loved children, horses, and the ocean. She used her soap opera earnings to send her little sister to college, and she loved a man named Roger Bogart, who prosecutors say took first her heart and then her life. I stand today in a Hollywood darkened by the theft of one bright star. I'm reminded today of my own daughter, whose death, like Shannon Smith's, I refer to as crime against hope.
In the landscape of American violence, sex crimes are a most dastardly violation. I lost my wife in just such an attack. Her name was Ashley, and I can think of no better tribute for her memory than a program that gives victims a voice and concerned women a forum in which to address their fears. I'm Alden Hammond. Please join me weekdays at 4 o'clock as I try to make America after Ashley a better place for women.
Music begins. The Sandbar, a bar in Central Florida, catering largely to a co-eds on a budget. The dive, yes, but a dive that attempts the sort of every night is spring break ambiance with splashes of color. Hit music, and special nights. Justin leans against the bar and drinks a beer. A girl, Julie, dances to the song. Justin watches for a bit. She notices him watching and responds. She joins him at the bar. Julie's had a couple of drinks, just enough to feel a warm, generous delight that takes the edge off inhibition.
Hi. Is it okay if I sit here?
Go for it.
I'm Julie.
Justin,
It's nice to meet you. Are you by yourself?
am I by myself? No. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I walk with Christ, so I'm never alone.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. It must be so comforting to have that.
Him. I have him. JC.
Wow. I'd love to know what that feels like if it isn't too personal. I mean, I'm not religious, but it seems like we're living in such a lonely time. All the structures that traditionally connected us have eroded, and it's like, you know.
Yeah,
it just-
I was actually just fucking with you.
Sorry?
It was a joke.
Oh. Okay. A lot of people here are really religious, so it didn't seem that far out. Do you believe in God?
Wow, you are just determined to have a bonding moment. Talk. There's usually this whole flirting, drinking step that precedes the revelation of metaphysical belief systems.
That seemed invasive.
No, not invasive, just bizarre. One minute you're grinding to violent misogynist rap. The next minute you're like in my lap lamenting the collapse of the family. Who are you?
I'm Julie.
Okay, Julie, let's do this old school. What's your sign?
Pisces.
How's this weather treating you?
I don't really like the sun.
And you live in Florida, neato. And what do you do, Julie, when you're not writhing provocatively to gangster rap?
I go to school. Eminem's not gangster rap.
And in school, you study.
English. Literature.
Okay, now I know you. Buy me a whiskey and let's talk about God.
My purse is at the table. You think you know me now?
Oh, I totally know you. The rap music is throwing me a little. Other than that, you're very clear.
Really?
Really?
Okay, who am I?
You are the sad little goth girl who won't play kickball.
Excuse me?
You cut gym class to smoke cigarettes and read Sylvia Plath. The lesbian gym teacher, we'll call her Jean. She's like, Julie, put down the bell jar and go play kickball. So you go. You get out there in your little black shorts and your 9-inch nails baby doll tee, and you wince as boy after boy kicks the ball at you. You stand still, but not indifferent, pummeled by the kickball, taunted and jeered at, too alienated and lethargic to just kick the fucking ball.
Wow.
I'm dead on, right?
No.
Did you cut Jim to smoke?
Yeah, but
Bingo!
I just no bingo. I'm not. You just totally judged me and made me into this gross caricature based on nothing. Like,
Hey, you came
what do you
over
mean?
here all dressed in black asking if I believe in God.
But you started it being all Jesus is my co-pilot. I wasn't the one who was starting.
Fine. New topic, violent gangster rap and the women who love it. Discuss.
I said Eminem isn't gangster rap.
Yeah, but the man sings almost exclusively about hurting women. Bitches. Is this a sadomasochism thing? Is he sexy in the way that, say, you and your goth friends find Dracula sexy?
I'm not a goth.
Fine. Eminem wants to cut your throat and throw you in a river, and that makes you dance.
I don't feel like he hates women as a whole as much as he hates this,
Every woman he's ever met?
All the women, he's been through a lot, he's had a really terrible life,
Oh,
with all the women in his life betrayed him.
So they should die.
No, of course not, but he's entitled to be angry and to express that anger, Sylvia Plath compared her father and her husband to Hitler. Nobody's pulling her books off shelves.
Fair point. Cool.
What?
This is cool.
What part of this?
Oh, I don't know. A really cute girl approaches me in a bar, and she turns out to have like a functioning brain in her head. And my birthday is not till next week.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I was suspicious.
That's okay. I'm suspicious when guys come on to me.
Oh, so you were coming on to me.
Well...
Can we clarify that you were, in fact, coming on to me?
Maybe.
Awesome. In that case, I will buy you a whiskey.
This is not an easy place to be thoughtful.
$1 margarita night at the Sandbar? No, it isn't.
Central Florida. I'm not saying everyone's dumb, but I do think that temperate climates maybe attract a sort of non-reflective personality type.
Very diplomatic.
I'm from New Hampshire.
Really?
Yeah.
DC.
Okay, I've thought about this, and I think winter is important. It's part of the life cycle, and to not have it or to choose not to have it, it's like it perverts your vision of the world. You never see your world shrivel up and die, so you begin to feel immortal.
Definitely. Yeah, it's also about obstacles, impediments. Too fucking hot, too fucking cold. Getting kicked in the ass by nature 8 months out of the year is just plain character building. Exactly.
Oh, and in a weird way, this sort of brings us back to Eminem.
How so?
Eminem, Sylvia Plath, these people have been through things, awful things, but it made them who they are, The pain, it enabled them to see things in a way that most of us can't.
Sylvia Plath is, rolling in her grave at this comparison.
Have you ever read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl?
No.
Well, you should. He's this man who survived the Holocaust and became a psychotherapist. He talks about the acquisition of meaning from profound suffering. It's just amazing. I mean, nothing really bad has ever happened to me, and in some ways I feel like there's this whole dimension of experience that I don't want to say missed, but I haven't been confronted spiritually in the way that.
Well, I'm no Hitler. I'm no Hitler, but I'd be happy to torture you and dehumanize you if it would help you write a poem.
That's not what I meant.
I'm not strong, but I can be extremely insensitive.
This seems ridiculous to you?
It's veering perilously in that direction, but hey, it's important to stay in touch with all that was really good about the death camps. Now, let's talk about the weather again.
I can't even imagine being in your head.
And there's no need for you to do that, so it's all good.
Have you ever written about it?
Written about what?
You know, what happened, how it felt.
Growing up in a city built on a swamp? No. Here's an idea for you. All great Southern literature precedes the invention of the air conditioner. So what do you think about that?
I so understand if you don't want to talk about it, but I would be here for you if you did. I could never understand, but I could be here.
You know what I think, Julie?
What?
I use the C word very, very sparingly, and I think you, Julie, are a cunt.
Well, why would you say that?
What do you want? What was your objective in talking to me?
Just, I mean, you're alone and you're new here. I just wanted to be nice and
Right,
start up a
and there's a guy,
like,
there's a guy right outside that door, half dead from AIDS, trying to round up enough change for a meal. But you didn't shake your ass in his face, now did you?
no, but that's... My friend recognized you. She said, "There's the 911 kid. He's
I
right
am
here."
not the 911 kid. I have a name.
I know.
Let's do this, Julie. You're very articulate when you're not lying, so pull it together. Why did you talk to me?
You just look lonely. I thought
Oh, bullshit.
I wanted to maybe get to know you.
Why?
Why? Do I have to have a reason?
No, but you do. Let's go. Come on.
What do you mean, come on?
Come home with me. You can tell all your friends you fucked the 911 kid. If you want, I'll slap you around. You can write a haiku.
That's your invitation. You think I'm going to go for that?
Yeah, I do. You're a goth in Central. You have nothing better to do. Creepy guy with murdered mother, rum punch, and frat boys at the sandbar. What's a sad little goth girl to do?
Justin walks out of the bar, confident she'll follow. After a beat, she does. End of Act 1. Act 2. Music. Syndrome Z's Down to Mother. This is a fictional rap song which contains a sample of Justin's 911 call. Justin's apartment. No furniture except for an armchair from Act 1 and a TV VCR combo on the floor. A few open, moving boxes suggest he's living out of them instead of buying shelves or drawers. Justin is asleep on the floor in a sleeping bag. Julie, partly dressed, tiptoes around the park, picking up the rest of her clothes.
What time is it?
8:30.
Why are you up?
Because you made me sleep in a chair and it was really uncomfortable.
You said you didn't mind.
I lied. Do you know where my purse is?
You left it with your friends.
Shit.
You want a Coke or something?
No, I don't want a Coke.
Sorry about the chair thing. You should show me that used furniture place you were talking about.
It's not hard to find. It's on Kalmia past the mall.
Are you not a morning person, or is this some sort of passive-aggressive snubbing thing?
Look, I didn't do anything I didn't want to do, but in the light of day, I feel like maybe I don't need this.
Need what?
I had too much to drink and I probably sounded like an idiot, but that doesn't give you the right to talk to me like you talked to me last night.
Hey, making you sleep in the chair was very caddish, and I apologize. Very uncool. The rest, I just call it as I see it. If the truth hurts.
No, fuck you, Justin. I knew you were in a hard place, and I just
You don't know anything about me.
mean, I know what happened, and I thought...
No. What happened to my mom is none of your business. It's not an opportunity for you to take a walk on the dark side or whatever.
That's not what I was doing.
Yes, it is. You hit on me because my mom was murdered, which in and of itself is repellent, but you didn't even have the decency to be upfront about it. You pretended to be attracted to me.
We were alone. I made some small talk. Is that a crime?
You hit on me. You made my day, Julie. You made my year. Then you showed your hand. If you think I'm going to apologize, you play, you pay, Julie. If you're going to starfuck.
Starfuck. Please. Just because your 911 call is sampled into a rap song, I mean, that's
the girls coming on to me because of what happened to my mother is disgusting to me, okay? You girls are like bottom feeders.
You're full of shit, you know?
How's that?
You didn't throw a drink in my face and leave, did you? You got laid. You lost your opportunity to be morally superior when you brought me home.
Hey, you use me, I use you.
So drop the superior act. You got to fuck me and tell me off. Now we both feel like garbage. I'm gonna go.
Can I ask you a question?
It depends.
How does it work being a victim groupie? I mean, I got mail from girls for years. I still do. Now, I had a variety of reactions to September 11th, but none of them was like, wow, I'm going to write to some of the widows and see if I can score.
Well, that's different.
How?
The 911 call, you seemed like a really good person.
Because I called 911?
Because you wouldn't leave the house. I think a lot of people, girls were impressed that you were so upset.
She was my mother.
I know, but still, I think a lot of guys would have left. I don't know. I think that's probably why you get mail.
The phone rings.
Yeah. Oh, not really. I have a friend here. A friend. Try not to seem so shocked. Fine, come over. But in the future, I want more notice. And pick up some coffee on the way. I don't know. I'll ask. Do you want to eat a crust bun or a sunshine cake or whatever the fuck they have here?
No, thanks.
Just the coffee. How do you take it?
Half and half. Light.
Put a lot of cream in hers. Bye. What? You don't know her. Bye. My dad.
Is he pissed that I'm here?
No. How old are you?
I'll be 20 in February.
Oh, I knew this was statutory rape. My dad is loosely connected to law enforcement. If I tell them what happened, they'll arrest you. They'll arrest you, and then they'll do a show about it.
I don't think so.
The show will feature a tawdry reenactment of what occurred here. It will be full of dialogue, like I'll say, I don't think I'm ready for this. And you'll say, be a man. I didn't come here to talk, baby face.
Is the show really going to be like that?
The show is really like that.
Hasn't started yet.
It hasn't aired yet. They've taped a bunch.
You saw them.
They were over here. They were over there.
Can I see?
I thought you have to go.
I don't have to go. You were just being really aggressive, but if you've calmed down now,
If you want to hit on my dad.
No, I don't. Can I see one of the tapes?
They're horrible.
Just a few minutes. Get the idea.
Go for it.
She puts the tape in the machine and presses play. The After Ashley theme music plays. A remade Alden enters. He's been styled and coached for television.
In the landscape of American violence, sexual crimes are a most dastardly violation.
No, Dad, you think?
When my wife Ashley was murdered, I was completely unprepared for the range of emotions I would experience, from anger to guilt to a depth of grief I felt I might never emerge from. But I did emerge. I did survive. I believe that communication heals.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Today, we'll meet a woman who survived a brutal assault at a Milwaukee tavern. She'll share her story and her journey with us in our first half hour. In our second, a veteran law enforcement officer will offer safety tips to keep you from becoming a victim. I'm Alden Hammond. I'm glad you're here with me today to help make America a safer place for women after Ashley.
Mute it.
Wait, can I just watch the reenactments?
Alden steps aside as the two reenactment actors enter. The actress who played Ashley plays the reenactment victim. She wears a wig and a different hair color. The actor who plays Roderick plays the reenactment rapists. He wears all black, including a cape-like coat. Ominous music and lighting shift. The woman applies lipstick in an imaginary mirror. The man grabs her from behind. She mouths a silent scream. They struggle in slow motion. The effect is more voluptuous passion than assault. They freeze in a pose reminiscent of a Gothic romance. Think Dracula, Dark Shadows. Stylized melodrama.
Just, Julie, mute it. Mute the death porn. Turn it off. I'm going to be sick.
I think it was rendered really tastefully.
Well, it must have been one of those tasteful tapes.
Well, they can't, like, show it.
Why not?
You think they should show it?
I don't think they should be reenacting it at all, but yeah, if they reenact it, they should show it.
Why?
Okay, why do the reenactments?
Well, to show...
Why? Why? Show why? Why do they have to show reenactments of the crimes?
Because television is a visual medium.
Nonsense. Watch Meet the Press. Nobody's reenacting congressional committee meetings.
That's completely different. That's not an entertainment.
Exactly. America likes sex crimes. They find them entertaining and they find them arousing. Now, I have no objection as long as they show it. None of this Dark Shadows goth romance crap. America wants sex crimes. Give them sex crimes.
It did look like Dark Shadows, you're right. I don't really understand why he was wearing a cape. It was some dive bar in Milwaukee.
Reenacted sex crimes are all about ravishing.
What do you mean, ravishing?
You're the goth English major. Define ravishing.
Well, I guess it's kind of a romance novel word. It's like a softer way of saying...
Raped.
Ravishing is kind of like what Dracula did. It implies like a lack of participation on the woman's part, but it also implies that she enjoys it.
Okay, A+, Julie, gold star. We're not writing a thesis.
Sorry.
Ravishing. All across America, Julie, housewives will be putting babies in cribs so that their hands may be free to masturbate. And if I weren't here, you would too.
No, I wouldn't.
You find M&M sensual. You are this program's target audience.
Well, that would be wrong. I mean, they are lending the crimes a certain tragic beauty in the retelling. Is that so bad?
It's appalling and unholy.
I don't know. I think maybe that's only the way you heal, you know, to reimagine your sorrows as gifts.
Oh, stop.
Well, what's the alternative?
The truth. The alternative is the truth. There's nothing beautiful about being raped in a bathroom, Julie.
So you want to reenact it authentically and...
No, reenacting it authentically is second choice. First choice is shutting the fuck up about it.
Shutting up sounds like you want people to go back to being ashamed. Like it's...
Oh, I am already and willing to lead the return to shame movement. People on TV are eating bugs, trying to marry millionaires. Shame is an idea whose time has come. Take September 11th.
What about it?
People in this country don't know how to grieve. They're so estranged from silence and reverence. Lisa Beamer, my God, that woman makes my father look restrained.
Lisa Beamer. The one whose husband said, "Let's roll"?
That woman tried to trademark her husband's last words. She's on Oprah within a month. She's got a book out to coincide with the 1-year anniversary. Who are these people? When my mother died, I could barely fucking dress myself. 6 months later, I'm still working on eating and showering, and my dad's already sold a book proposal.
Can't imagine that kind of loss.
No. Imaginative leap required. The point is just, my mother was murdered. I don't know what the aftermath of it is supposed to be, but I don't think it's supposed to be a book and a TV show and a rap song and a girl in my room.
So your solution is silence? Just don't ever speak of it?
I don't have a solution, but shutting the fuck up would be a start.
I did hit on you because of your mom. I'm sorry.
I don't get it. I haven't read Viktor Frankl, though, so fuck if I know.
I talked to you about Viktor Frankl? Shit. I was really drunk. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
No, it isn't. I wanted to be a writer for a while. I tried. I wasn't good at making things up, and I didn't have anything in my life worth writing about. So,
Well, that's just lazy.
no, it isn't. Look at all of Shakespeare. It's all blood, war, death, tragic love. I don't have any of that, and I don't know how to fake it because... Anyway, I guess I do think I'd be deeper if I'd experienced more darkness. I'm embarrassed. I'm going to shut up.
Well, as far as the writing goes, I still say you're lazy. And reading the wrong books. You should read, like, books by Victorian women on bed rest.
What?
You're the English major. There's a long, proud tradition of bored women going apeshit. From the Brontes to the Carpenters, women with no life experience have held us spellbound.
No, you're right. I'm not a writer. I just have to figure out what I am. Should probably take off before your dad gets here, but I totally meant that about going furniture shopping.
Okay.
You can't pick up girls like this.
I apologize for the chair.
So, you want my number?
You should stay and get your coffee. You can take it to go.
I don't want to make things uncomfortable.
Actually, my hope was that you'd serve a buffer-like function.
You want me to stay?
Would you, just for...
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you're from New Hampshire.
Yes.
Why are you here?
I'm in school.
All right, but why? I mean, isn't there a mediocre state college school a little closer to home?
My mother moved here, and but that was a shitty thing to say.
What?
Yeah, there was a University of New Hampshire, but at the time my mom was here and I had this boyfriend, so it's actually a decent school for what I do, so...
Hello. Hi, I'm Alden Hammond.
Hi, I'm Julie. Wow, it's incredible to meet you.
Incredible? Did you just say incredible?
Well,
Wow, go Dad. I think the best I got was interesting. What did he do to merit an incredible?
I don't know,
Do you mean incredible as in so superior as to defy belief, or as in lacking credibility?
Justin?
Well, Julie's an English major. She's prepared for the hard questions.
Not at 9 a.m. before my coffee.
Fair enough. I'm a Java junkie myself. I think this one is yours.
Thank you.
I just showed her the tape of the show.
Oh, I gather you liked it then. That's terrific.
Yeah, we both agreed that it's incredible.
Oh, good, good. That means a lot to me. You know, this has been an amazing journey. When the smoke clears and I get a couple of minutes to myself, there's an essay I want to write about this.
No kidding.
Yeah, the things I've learned, the women I've met.
I don't want to hear about the women you've met.
The women we featured on the program. Their stories are just remarkable. I found myself speechless on occasion.
It must be kind of inspiring.
You know, it's really been a bizarre mix of emotions. It's inspiring, it's infuriating. Many of these women have had very negative experiences with law enforcement.
Wow.
It's a terrific feeling for me.
What is it, the degradation?
No, the sense of empowerment they feel from being able to tell their stories. This is where television can be very powerful. We can send a message with this program that that kind of treatment is unacceptable.
So true. You know, I worked on a rape crisis line.
You did?
Yeah. And I heard stuff like that. If the girls say been drinking or even been to a bar.
The victim is immediately suspect. And I admit my own ignorance. I did not know that attitude was as prevalent as apparently it is.
And the reenactments?
What about them?
Do the women feel empowered by seeing the worst moments of their life reenacted as softcore?
I don't agree with you, Justin. We've had this conversation.
You're packaging sickness as entertainment. People are going to jerk off to it.
Justin, this is one of those areas in which we will agree to disagree. And in that agreement, honor each other's opinions.
We've been in therapy together, in case that sounded a little rehearsed. If anyone ever tries to reenact what happened to Mom, I will. They'll have to get fucking past me.
Change the topic now.
It must be very grueling work, being on television.
That's the same topic.
No, it isn't. I'm talking about the hours and stuff. I mean, it must be hard work.
It's unlike anything I've ever done. I have a newfound respect for people who work in television. It's an unbelievably rigorous, exacting medium.
Yeah, you look a little tired.
Well, that's actually an interesting, humorous story. I was taken to task for the circles under my eyes, which are a product, you know, of those long shoots early. In any event, the makeup person on the program put something under my eyes, which was absolutely miraculous. And I asked her what it was, and it was actually Preparation H, the hemorrhoid.
Ass cream.
Wow.
It's apparently a trick of the trade.
I never knew that.
I didn't either.
It makes sense, I guess.
It must constrict tissue and
yeah, it just shrinks, swelling. Yeah, I put toothpaste on pimples sometimes. That works too.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did this interaction go wrong? Dad, this hot chick called you incredible and then took your side in every one of our arguments. the way to work that to your advantage is not to bring up ass cream.
It was interesting.
It was incredible.
I'm going to get a glass of water. Can I bring anyone?
That water filter you bought me,
Yes.
I haven't assembled it.
Okay, well, I'll do that now then. It should just take a minute.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What?
Why do you talk to him like that?
Long answer or short answer?
If I talked to my parents like that, they would kick my ass.
One of the perks of having hippie parents. That's never going to happen.
You're making me uncomfortable. Stop it.
If you want to go for it, I won't stand in your way.
Why are you doing this? I thought we worked this out.
The filter needs to soak for 15 minutes.
You should probably keep an eye.
Why?
Just sit down, chill out, drink your coffee.
Thank you. Julie, what do you study?
English, literature.
That's great. Do you have an area of interest?
I study romanticism.
Oh, the poets. Byron, Shelley.
Right, some novels too. I'm actually trying to narrow it.
Sure. Now, will you include the Americans?
That gets complicated.
I would imagine. Thoreau can be construed as...
Yeah, we should all get comfortable if he's going to talk about Thoreau.
Justin.
That's fair. Thoreau is a passion of mine. I would go on, my only point being that the agendas are similar in many respects, but very different. And that ultimately has to be with the American myth, the myth of self-invention. The European writers don't, they can't embrace self-determination the way their American counterparts do. I'll stop.
No, I know exactly what you mean. That's so true.
David Gavin, my producer, is going to be arriving shortly, and he has some things he'd like to talk to you about, Justin, so I think it's fair to warn Julie.
He's a pig.
He's not a pig. He can come across as rather abrupt. It occurs to me that this may not be Julie's idea of how to spend a Saturday afternoon.
I'll go.
No, you can stay.
No, if you guys are going to talk business, then...
No, I said you can stay. Don't ask my friend to leave. I mean, just because you're done talking ass cream and Thoreau doesn't mean that...
You're right. That was inappropriate. That was your decision to make. I'm sorry. Julie, you're more than welcome to stay.
Hey, she stays if I say she stays. You don't decide who's welcome in my house.
You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was completely out of line.
I have a very bad feeling right now. You're doing that thing you do when you get really, really, I'm going to use a $5 SAT word here, obsequious with me.
I think what I'm doing is acknowledging my error and...
Hello.
Hello, David. Hi, come in.
Hello, Justin. Nice to see you again. What's the story here? Where's the furniture?
I've told him anytime he wants to.
This is unacceptable. Why didn't I know about this? Justin, we're going to get right on this. A man needs a home.
David, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah? So what gives? You're here over a month. Didn't your father tell you that we'd pick up the tab furnish this place?
I did tell him. I've encouraged him to.
Are you in a depression?
He's doing great. It's, you know, trying to get a teenage boy to go shopping. That's just...
You're not just squatting here, son. This is your home.
Yes, it is. And I am on it, David. I am on it, and Julie is on it.
Oh, who's Julie?
I'm Julie.
Julie has been showing me swatches for going on 2 weeks now. And just this morning, I was telling her pretty much exactly what you're saying, which is that this is my home and I'm a man and I need furniture. It's been all swatches, no action, coming on 2 weeks now.
No, that's not right. What's the hold up?
The hold up is too many fucking swatches, too many paint chips, too many design concepts. She thinks she's an artist. She's trying to sell me this whole fucking nautical theme wallpaper with little anchors and sailor boys.
No.
She tried to sell me a cast iron globe and a bed shaped like a canoe, and that's when I said enough.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Justin.
I set her straight, didn't I?
You did.
If you're not up to the job, someone else is.
Where did you meet Julie?
I met her on my morning run.
Your morning...
My run. I'm a runner now. A morning runner. I run around the reservoir. I would say have a seat, but
that's fine. That's fine. I can't stay long, Justin. Your father and I want to share with you some very exciting news. The show premieres 1 week from today.
But that's not news. I know that.
That's not the news. The news is that I have cemented an alliance between your father's program After Ashley and a very important local philanthropist. Do you know the name Aaron Weintraub?
No.
I know the Weintraub Center.
Weintraub High School, Weintraub Planetarium, the Marissa Weintraub Riley Theater, the Sylvia Weintraub Library. The man's a gazillionaire. He's put his name and his kids' names on half the county. This is one of the 5 richest men in the state.
Okay.
Now, we had dinner together last week. We have a relationship that allows me to speak frankly with him. I said, Aaron, your heart's in the right place, but you're embarrassing yourself. You gotta stop putting your name on things. You're making yourself look bad. Now, the man's an egomaniac, but he's not stupid. He knows good sense when he hears it.
Right.
Mr. Weintraub is building a shelter for battered women and their children. If you've been jogging around the reservoir, you've seen it. Big salmon pink building. It's got great big glass dome.
That's a shelter?
It's actually a transitional facility.
Justin, this place is going to be unbelievable. It's got a pool, it's got a gym, it has a daycare center, a screening room. What am I forgetting?
The dining room?
A dining room with a chef. What do you think of that?
It makes me wish I was a battered woman.
Justin.
I understand his meaning. Justin, this place represents a step forward for the state of Florida and the United States and an immeasurable leap for women.
Why? Because it has a gym?
No, because it has a screening room.
How does any of that stuff help battered women change their situation?
Julie, it's good sense. They're going to buff up, eat a balanced diet, and go beat their husbands back.
Women's shelters have traditionally been prison-like. We have, in a sense, punished women for leaving their abusers. Mr. Weintraub wants to reward a woman for her courage to leave, and that's an idea that's long overdue.
All right, well, good for him. What does this have to do with me?
I told him about our show, and I told him about your mother. I told him what an incredible woman she was, and we made a deal.
What kind of deal?
Ashley House.
What the fuck is Ashley House?
It's the Canyon Ranch of women's shelters. It opens 1 week from tomorrow to national coverage, and it's named after your mother.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. Now, Aaron wants his daughter, Alexis, to run it, and that's fine. She's full of ideas about how we can make this house, this shelter, a tribute to your amazing mother.
You never met my mother.
No, I didn't, but I know her. I know her in you and in your father.
Justin, David and Aaron and Alexis, all of us want you to be part of this. We want your input and your ideas.
Alexis has some ideas I think you're really going to like. She wants to embellish a corps of volunteers, female volunteers, called Ashley's Angels. She wants to know your mom's favorite color so the angels can wear these little wing-shaped things on their collars.
No.
Like the AIDS people have the ribbons, we're going to have wings. Now, you can take your time and generate some of your own ideas. The only thing I need from you right now is a song. Alexis would like to sing a song of your choice at the opening ceremony. She wants to know your mom's favorite song so she can start learning it.
No. I veto. I have veto power, and I veto this.
Veto what?
The whole thing, Ashley House. You can't do it.
Well, actually, we already have it. It's done.
Well, fucking undo it then.
Justin, this is a tribute with permanence. It's an absolutely tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, to sell your show?
That is not why we are doing this.
Justin, this is a gift to your mother.
She doesn't want it.
Listen, you're a teenager and you're selfish, and that's normal. I had a teenager myself.
Fuck you. You had a teenager you never visited until she was a corpse.
Justin!
You can't let him do this.
Justin, it's a tribute.
It's a shelter.
It's a tribute to your mother's memory.
My mother was killed by a homeless person. Putting her name on a shelter is not an appropriate tribute.
We are taking her name and reclaiming it.
Does no one else here have a problem with the fact that it's a shelter?
I do think there is a way in which it could be construed as bad taste.
No one asked you.
Fuck you. I asked the question, and I included her.
It's a home for women and children, and your mother loved children.
My mother hated children. She thought battered women deserved to be hit.
Is that true?
She never said that.
Yes, she did.
Who did she say it to?
To me. She said it to me.
Alden?
I never heard her say that. Never.
Yes, you did.
Justin, I'm disappointed. Your father was concerned that you might react badly to this, and I told him he was wrong. Now, I need to get back to California. I'll leave you to mull this over and come to the right conclusions. For now, I need a song. I need the name of your mother's favorite song so Alexis can start learning it.
Hit me with your best shot, Pat Benatar.
Try again.
Hit me one more time, Britney Spears.
One more chance.
He hit me and it felt like a kiss by Carole King.
3 strikes, you lose. Alden, give me a song.
I don't know. I mean, we both like the Beatles, I guess.
Maxwell Silver Hammer.
Alden, you were married to the woman. What was her favorite song?
Well, towards the end, she was playing a Joe Jackson record, and there was one song.
It's different for girls.
That's right.
I don't know that song. Is it fitting?
It's very fitting. It's about the fragility of women and the responsibility men bear to take care with them. It's actually perfect.
That sounds fine. I'll tell Alexis. Now, Justin, you're going to take 24 hours and think this all through. You're a smart man. You're going to come to your senses and decide to be a part of this project.
Not going to happen.
Okay. Then at the very least, you're going to be respectful. You will attend the ceremony and show your father the respect, and the support.
I will not do it.
All right. Listen to me. You're not 14 anymore. You've had 3 years to act out and embarrass yourself, and it stops here. You lose someone you love, you get a year to act like a shithead. That's a statute of limitations on grief. You break your leg, you don't get to sit in your ass for the rest of your life. You're healed. The world expects it, and beyond that, it's your goddamn duty. You've reacted long enough. It's time you grow up and act like a man.
Oh, I intend to.
That sounded like a threat. I'm sure you didn't mean it to.
I don't know, David. I'm an immature teenage shithead. It's hard to say what I might do.
Son, you've got a BB gun, and I've got a bomb. Don't go up against me.
I think that sounded like a threat.
No one is threatening anyone. David, I will speak with Justin. Justin, let's have dinner tonight.
I have dinner plans.
Well, what plans?
Julie and I have a lot of work to do.
I have a plane to catch, and I'm not finished with you.
I want you to call me on my cell phone after dinner. Will you do that?
Fine, go.
Wow.
We don't have to have dinner. I just needed to stall him.
We can have dinner.
You have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's completely horrible and it should be stopped. Also, they got that Joe Jackson song really, really wrong.
No kidding.
It's not about women being fragile. It's about their capacity for cruelty being equal to men's, if not worse.
Very good. You're smarter than I thought.
Oh, for a CFU student.
Oh, I'm sorry I said that. I need advice, preferably female. And you're here, and you understand Joe Jackson.
Okay.
So I'm going to trust you, and if it turns out I'm wrong and you really are just ambulance chasing trash, I will qualify you for Ashley House, and I'm not fucking with you. I'm serious, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to show you something. Read the parts with the sticky notes.
Justin gets up and rifles through some things. He returns with a manila envelope, takes a cloth-bound book out of the envelope and hands it to Julie.
Read the parts with the sticky notes.
What is this?
When I found my mom, I called the police, and when I was waiting for them, I thought, before the reality of the situation set in and freaked me out, I got really practical. Like, literally the first thing I thought was, my mom's got all this pot in her room, and I don't want her to get in trouble, which is insane. She's dead, but I found the pot and I took it. A lot later, I smoked it. I found this journal too, and I took it.
I don't think I should read this.
What's your problem?
It's really personal.
Let's skip a couple of months.
I get the idea.
What is wrong with you?
It's really upsetting, Justin.
Why? Because she had sex? Orgies with strangers?
No, I'm not judgmental about stuff like that.
Is it because they filmed them?
No, none of that stuff is bad in and of itself. It just doesn't sound like she liked it. I don't know. Doing sexual stuff you don't want to do makes me really upset. Might be a girl thing.
Huh. The reenactments didn't bother you.
Right? Yeah, you're right. Score one, Justin. You made your point.
Well, it's my fault. She did it, so I just wanted you to know.
How is it your fault?
I told her to go to
Sad thing, but I mean, it's not like this had anything to do with, you know, did it?
She was really unhappy and bitchy. That's why I told her to go do something. But after she went, she got worse. She could just cut a person down.
You're not the person who brought him home, you know?
I'm
You're
sorry
not.
I didn't hear you a lot. Yeah. Yeah, but I also didn't stop it.
Neither did she.
Before the shelter thing, my dad had a plan to put up a statue in some kiddie park in D.C. It was going to be Mom feeding the birds, which is insane. When he blew off the statue, but I had this idea of how I was going to stop it if I had to. I was going to call this guy Roderick and get the videos.
Do you know how to contact him?
His number is in the journal.
You would show people those tapes.
Yeah, I would show people the tapes. Would I rather people know her for? I would rather people know her for herself than for somebody who's someone else's totally false idea of who she is. Does that make any sense?
Do you really think your mom having freaky group sex would bring down Ashley House?
I think the only way to save her is to trash her. Do you think that's crazy?
No, I don't.
Am I interrupting?
No, come on in.
I was hoping to have a word with Justin. I know you two have dinner plans. Do you have time for coffee or
Oh, we're really busy.
quick one?
Why don't we take a break and you guys can talk? I was gonna go get some air, so.
Can you look into the thing we talked about, while you're out? The phone number is on the inside back cover.
What should I say?
Just check availability. Wallpaper. Shit never ends.
Right. I walked away from here and I couldn't stop thinking about you. I'm trying to understand your position here.
Let's not have the same conversation we've had 20 times since you wrote your book. Do you have anything new to say on this subject, or?
I don't know if it's new, but I think we're wrestling over primacy of experience.
Okay, when you say things like primacy of experience, I can't talk to you. These discussions accomplish nothing. You just find bigger words to advance the same position.
That's fair. I'll be clearer. Your mother's death meant one thing to you, another thing to me. And you are as entitled to your experience of this event as I am entitled to mine.
Incorrect.
Why is that incorrect?
Because your version is not true.
Justin, I have not lied at any point. Not in the book, not on the show.
Where is the scene in the book where she says she doesn't want the guy in the house?
She never said that.
Oh, please.
She never...
I was there.
Justin, if your mother said no, I would have respected her wishes.
Editing the truth is just a different way of lying.
But there is plenty about your version of this that I would consider less than truthful.
Really?
Yes.
For example?
I would prefer... Justin, you need to understand that reality is a subjective construct.
Don't talk like that. Just fucking say what you mean. In what way do I lie about my mother?
I think you made me the villain in our family. I think you hold me responsible for your mother's unhappiness.
My mother's unhappiness is nowhere in your 600-page book. And that is the problem. That is what I hold you responsible for.
You would like me to tell the world about the various manifestations of your mother's unhappiness?
I would rather you tell them that than a load of horseshit about camping in Wyoming.
We camped in Wyoming, Justin.
Yeah, and it was fucking miserable.
That's your experience.
That's real. She was miserable on that trip, and so was I, and you were too busy obsessing about dead Indians to fucking notice.
Your mother was unhappy on that trip because she was in drug withdrawal. Would you like that in the book?
Withdrawal? It was pot, not heroin. Why didn't you...
That's not... Okay, enough. Impasse reached. We're not going to have a meeting of the minds here, so let's just stop, okay?
Okay.
I want to ask you. I've worked very hard for many years to get to this place, to have an impact. I was in graduate school when your mother became pregnant. I have no regrets. I wouldn't change anything. But the life I had planned for myself was not covering school board meetings. You talked a lot about what this recognition of my work means to you. I'm just asking you to consider what it means to me. You think obsessively about your mother. Can you, for one moment, think of me?
You don't take into consideration what she would want.
Okay. Will you still call me later?
Sure.
How did it go?
The peace talks have failed. We're going to war. Did you make any progress?
The number's still good. His name is on the machine, along with some jazz music. I didn't leave a message. Are you really going to call him?
Give me the number.
Justin gets his phone, dials the number. Julie at his side. We hear Syndrome Z's Down to Mother again on the scene change. Some indication of time, 6 days passing. Roderick Lord joins them in the apartment. There was a small suitcase at his feet. The three stare at each other for a while.
Am I not what you expected?
No, actually, no.
I'm sure you have questions.
Is Roderick Lord your real name?
I think reality is a subjective construct.
A subjective construct. Fine, fine. It's not your real name.
Oh, what did you expect? How did I appear to you in your fantasy?
You're younger than I expected.
Interesting.
What is your, can I get the cliff notes of who you are?
What kind of information are you craving?
Nobody here is craving or fantasizing.
No child accepts the parent as a sexual animal. Are you jealous? Angry? Are you repelled?
I am repelled. I will give you that.
Talk about repulsion.
Talk about who the hell you are.
I think it's a matter of just getting to know each other a little.
What if I'd like to see you make love to him?
This is pathetic. You're like from a bad Mickey Rourke movie. Does this, do people find this exciting?
People find their own capacity for excitement, with my help.
Do you have a day job?
I have an inheritance and a lucrative skill. I'm a fortunate man.
And this skill is?
I unlock computer code.
Okay, you're a rich computer geek. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
My turn. You got one, I get one.
Okay.
What sexual act are you most afraid of?
Do you have any idea how juvenile this is?
Step 2. They mock and they giggle because they are afraid.
Look, you have something we want. We would have preferred a FedEx package, but here you are.
Here I am.
Can you be a little less cryptic?
Absolutely. I'm getting to know you two in the spaces between your words. Do you want to know what I see?
No. Can I have a whiskey, please?
Julie passes Justin a bottle of whiskey. They each take a shot before Roderick's arrival.
You're terrified of one another.
I'm not going to listen to this shit.
It's okay.
Right there. He fears his capacity for aggression. She is drawn to that aggression from a place so buried, so primal.
$1,000. $1,000. You give me the tip and get the fuck out of my apartment.
Unfortunately, I have more money than I have use for. The currency I deal in.
You are pathetic. You watch some movies and read some porn and you pass yourself off as this fucking Marquis de Sade of the suburbs, but it doesn't play here. You're not dealing with bored housewives.
Your mother was bored. I unlocked her.
You distracted her.
Yes, I did. I take some responsibility for her death. I have accepted my participation in that crime.
Excuse me, you what?
To unlock her sexuality, I broke down her guards. I took away the resistance that would have alerted her to danger.
You're a pathetic, innocent computer geek fuck. You would rather take credit for killing my mother than own up to the eunuch loser you are.
Justin.
You share my gift for perception. You're right. Here's my offer. You make love to your girlfriend, I direct. What do you think?
I met her last week, Mr. Perceptive. She's not my girlfriend.
So much anger. Julie offers you a safe space for your anger. She'd face it with you if you were brave enough to let her.
1,500. Take it or leave it.
Okay. My regards to your father. I'd like to be a part of Ashley House in some way. Perhaps they'll let me contribute some of your mother's artwork. I have some lovely landscapes in my personal collection.
Wait.
No, we don't have to.
She'll do it. She wants to do it. Don't you, Julie?
I do. I do want to do it.
Why would you possibly?
But it's different. It's unknown.
Talk about unknown.
I still have to see the fucking tape.
Roderick takes the tape from the suitcase and hands it to Justin, who goes to the VCR and puts in the tape.
Julie's spirit for exploration terrifies you. You're afraid we'll waken a desire you can't satisfy.
Justin and Julie watch for a few seconds. They look saddened by it. As they watch the tape, Roderick takes a video camera from his bag and begins readying it.
Is it all you'd hoped for? Is it scandalous enough to jeopardize Ashley House?
It'll work.
Justin turns off the tape, ejects it from the recorder, and replaces it in his box.
Are you ready to meet your shadows?
No, not part of the deal. Put that shit away.
The taping is non-negotiable.
What do you want us to do?
Patience, child. We begin with a structured interview.
Interview. This has been done. This has totally been done. There's a movie like this.
I've seen the film, and I've taken the next step. Julie, why does Justin excite you sexually?
We've covered this.
I wasn't here. Summarize.
Okay. He accused me of hitting on him because of his mom, because of her death.
You were drawn to his proximity to violence.
No. Maybe.
Justin, why Julie?
Because she hit on me really, really hard.
Too easy. Try again.
Oh, whatever. I can make something up if you need, like, spicier backstory. But the truth is, I'm a guy and she hit on me.
Then he yelled at me and called me the C word.
And you responded to that.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? That's horrible.
No judgments. Justin, was it exciting for you to be engaged? Was it exciting for you to engage in sex charged with rage?
There was no rage. I was very happy and very grateful to be doing what I was doing.
Justin, admit your anger.
No problem. I'm angry.
Admit it to Julie.
I'm not angry at Julie.
You were the other night.
Not as much as the two of you would like to think. Sorry, I know where you're going with this. I'm not on your trip. That's not my thing. My dickishness does not extend to this.
Are you sure?
I'm committed.
An important distinction.
Agreed.
I'm very impressed with both of you.
That's a judgment.
Correct. I apologize. Julie offered Justin some spirits.
Do you mean give him a drink?
Oh, yeah, give me a drink.
Relax. Imbibe. Begin Congress. Press your instincts to the fullest.
I will attempt to take this seriously if you will attempt to not use words like fullness and Congress. I think it's in everyone's best interest that I not laugh at you.
Message received. Begin.
We need the narrator.
Justin and Julie
Justin
begin touching, kissing tentatively. They collapse into making out, and Roderick begins to film them. We don't linger here. Music and physical scene transitions should commence almost immediately. In the scene transition, we hear a little bit of Alexis Weintraub, Shelley's rendition of It's Different for Girls. It's high-pitched and overwrought. Celine Dion inspired. It's dedication day at the Ashley House. A podium draped with purple ribbons is brought on stage. David and Alden enter with purple ribbons affixed to their lapels. They huddle at the podium as David coaches Alden on his speech. Minutes till showtime.
Because coercion and control are antithetical to a loving relationship in all its fullness.
Now, careful there. Aaron doesn't want a lot of emphasis on the whole abuse thing.
Yes, but it's a battered woman's shelter, so I thought...
He's got all his grandkids coming. No off-color talk with the kids there.
I don't think I have anything off color.
The man dropped $9 million and he wants a day of positivity. We can give him that. Talk about a new life. Talk about a bright future. Keep it future-oriented.
I can't... I may have to rethink some of this speech.
No. You don't rethink, you rewrite. I've got 8 generations of Weintraubs to deal with. I can't hold your hand through this.
Is someone graduating?
It does look sort of convocational. I think it's the purple. Why is everything purple?
Because my dad told them it was her favorite color.
Your mother favored red, if memory serves.
AIDS took red, yellows for missing persons and soldiers, breast cancer got pink, and there wasn't a whole lot left.
Purple brings to mind Prince and the Revolution.
Yeah, my dad must have forgot that.
Look at Julie. Look at her. Julie, look at Justin. Mourning after awkwardness is beneath you. I forbid you to run from one another, even as your new closeness feels chafing like a too tight.
We went out for coffee this morning.
We've been dealing with the closeness since 7:30.
We're completely fine with it as of like 8:15.
I wish you'd invited me.
You were really helpful. We wanted to tell you that. You should do like couples counseling. Seriously. I mean, the language is a little baroque, but your instincts are right on. And
I don't do couples counseling. I'm a guide in erotic exploration.
Okay, everyone?
David enters holding a videotape. He hands the tape to
Okay,
Justin.
everyone, listen up. Justin, I watched the video. It's terrific. It's a wonderful tribute.
Yes, it is.
Video player is under the podium. The tape is cued to you blowing out the birthday candles. Just push play. Give us a few seconds, half a minute tops. You got it?
Got it.
Alden, get over here. Who's he?
He's my life coach.
Well, he can't stand up here. He's going to have to take a seat. Her too.
Of course.
After Alden's opening remarks and the video, I'll introduce Weintraub and Alexis will wheel him on up. He wants top billing here, grand entrance. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Alden, keep cutting the speech.
Already under 5.
Get it under 3. Weintraub doesn't want his speech upstaged. 60 minutes is here. Where the hell is the painting?
60 minutes is here?
What painting?
They're doing a piece on Weintraub. The kid painting. Damn it! I need the painting!
David, I cannot compromise the integrity of my speech. I put my wife's name on this.
For free. You got her name up there for free. Now we're going to show the man the respect he deserves.
A stagehand enters with the painting and mounts it. It is an amateurish work that depicts Ashley playing Ring Around the Rosie with a culturally diverse group of children. What the hell is that?
That is an original artwork by Deborah Weintraub Pugnazzi, and we're very honored to have it. Now keep trimming that speech.
Did you know about this?
There's a lot here I was not made privy to. It means so much to me that you're supporting this, supporting me.
I know.
And I've missed you. I've missed you. Now, how did you find that tape?
You know, the tape, it was in a box of old school stuff. I was unpacking and there it was, serendipity.
I'll say, your fifth birthday. Wow.
Justin.
Oh, I'd like to introduce it if I could.
Terrified. God, that sounds terrific. Oh, terrific. God, that sounds terrific. I mean, I don't seem to be calling the shots here, but let's do this. I'll cut a little more of the speech and leave some of my time for you. I'd like to do.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh, it's no problem. I'm just, sorry, I've got to confess I'm a little starstruck or something.
Starstruck?
60 minutes. That's exciting.
What's with the guy you brought? He's down there hitting on the Weintraub girls. I had to move him to the back.
No, he's harmless.
He's creepy. I don't like him. Are we ready? Let me see what you've got. Give it to me. Cut that. That. I told you about that. Cut murder. Cut violated.
I cut rape. Now you cannot.
Your wife was lost and taken and lost. However you want to say it, she was lost and she was taken. Now let's do this, Justin. Is the tape in?
It is.
Good. Now let's go. Good morning. I'm David Gavin. I'm a producer for the Patterns Network. We have a studio here in Playa Linda where we tape a television program called After Ashley, which is dedicated to making the America of tomorrow a safer place for women. I lost my daughter Rachel in 1992, and I want to tell you that the work we do on After Ashley and the work we do here today is not charity. It is intervention, and it is salvation, and it is made possible by one very extraordinary man. We are here today thanks to the generosity of Aaron Weintraub and the tireless work of his daughter, Alexis Weintraub Shelley. Now I present Alden Hammond, husband of Ashley Hammond and the host of After Ashley, to say a few words about the woman whose name graces this center.
How often we wish for the intervention of angels in our troubled world. We yearn for some otherworldly power to assuage our pain. As I spoke with Alexis Weintraub Shelley this morning, I understood that the intervention of angels is more than possible. It is certain. We find them right here among us, in everyday clothing, their only wings, purple ribbons on their lapels. I saw my wife for the last time 3 years ago, and I see her again today. In the vitality and passion of these women, her angels, Ashley's angels. I lost my wife to trouble 3 years ago. It gives me great pleasure to forge an association between the name Ashley Hammond and the recovery of troubled women. Let me now introduce my son, Justin.
I'd like to read an excerpt from a poem. It's called Diving into the Wreck, and it's by Adrian Rich. The thing I came for, the wreck, and not the story of the wreck. The thing itself, and not the myth. The drowned face always staring toward the sun. The evidence of damage worn by salt and sway into this threadbare beauty. It's important to me that you know my mother. You know her name and you know the way she died, but I thought it was important to let her speak for herself today, because she's more than a name or a story or a memory. She's Ashley Rollins Hammond, the wreck and not the story of the wreck. The thing itself and not the myth. So, without further ado, let's dive into the wreck. Lights, please.
Lights dim, Justin presses play. We hear no video. Roderick's tape.
Ashley, kneel before Donald. Terrence, join them from behind. Don't think. Move. Linda, join them. Choice, make a choice. Ellen, go to the box of adventures. Choose.
During the video, Justin reaches behind the podium and retrieves the scissors to be used in the ribbon cutting. He begins slashing the painting. David rushes to Alden and shakes him to intervene. Alden is frozen, unable to stop watching the tape, and does not respond. David runs to the VCR. Justin intercepts him and they struggle. David finally succeeds in stopping the tape. Alden looks to Justin. He appears stunned and betrayed. Justin meets his stare. He has no regrets, but takes no pleasure in seeing the damage in his father's face.
This isn't sexy. This is like Twister.
We resist what we fear, Ashley.
I can't do this. Get the fuck off me. Stop. This is stupid and gross. Why are we...
Ashley?
I have pot. Why can't we just smoke and screw around? Let's have fun. If I wanted sex to be a monotonous chore, I'd have stayed home with my husband and just... If I'm going to be a mindless fuck doll, I should get paid.
After the tape is stopped, there's a moment of awkward silence. It's different for girls. Joe Jackson this time comes on abruptly to fill the void. Through the song, actors clear the stage. Julie and Justin enter with fold-up beach chairs and coffee cups. They sit by a lake.
So, Julie Bell.
Justin Hammonds.
So, are you breaking up with me or what?
What would you do if you were me?
I don't know. I'm not you.
Do we at least agree that you were a jackass?
Yeah, if you say so, sure.
Justin, you got grotesquely inebriated and insulted my friends. They threw us out of the bar because you were so...
I remember. I apologize. Now, what do you want me to say?
That you'll do better. That you'll try to do better?
You and your fucking friends just come at me with all these expectations of who I am.
No, if you don't want to date me, no hard feelings, but say that. Stop hiding behind what happened to your mom.
Fair enough. Anything else?
No.
Do you want money for the coffee?
No, I don't want money for the coffee.
Okay.
So, what are you going to do now?
I don't know. Go home, probably. Read. What are you doing?
No, I mean, like, generally, life. Your dad cut you off, right?
I assume so.
Is the show going to air, or?
It's been delayed indefinitely.
You got what you wanted.
Pretty much.
But you need a job now, right? If you're cut off.
Eventually, yeah. I have some money from my mom's parents, but it's supposed to be for college.
So maybe do some applications, get something part-time.
Maybe.
No immediate plans?
No. MTV called me
Why?
to talk. They saw the 60 Minutes piece, 60 Minutes filmed the dedication, so.
They already aired it?
No, but somebody at MTV saw the tape and he said I was a righteous rebel. He goes, "You're the wrong dude to mess with before breakfast," is all I'm saying. The guy does reality programming. I think the idea is to put me in a house with 5 other contrasting personalities and have me be the one who kicks the TV and gets voted out.
They already did that show.
Yeah, they did, and people seem to respond to it.
But you said no?
Oh, of course I said no. I just ruined my father's life because he wanted to be a TV star. It'd be pretty fucked up if I started taking meetings, don't you think?
Definitely.
Anyway, I'm busy. I'm writing a book. It's called After Ashley.
Yeah. What happens
In my book,
in your life? What happens after Ashley?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea.
Well, just don't piss it away being an angry, young, drunk man.
You think that's what I'm going to do?
I think it's a scenario you should be aware of.
Right. So, that's it? We're done?
Yeah. Class dismissed.
I know this is going to sound like I'm making excuses for myself, but I was 14 when she died. I never did the girl thing.
I know.
And you guys mature faster anyway, so in girl years, I was like 10.
It's different for girls.
Right. These last 3 years, she's been like, all the girl I can handle, Jeez, the way that came out sounds pervy, but.
I know. She needed you, and you came through for her.
Well, I'm just saying that I'm working at about a junior high level as far as dating or whatever, so I apologize.
I understand. I mean, I'm not asking you to be all together or even halfway together.
So what would you need from me, aside from like sobriety and civility?
Just be you. Just be. If you don't know what to say, just be silent.
People in this country are estranged from silence.
Yes, they are, but you're a righteous rebel. You can do better.
It's like in the absence of any coherent idea who I am, I've assumed all of her worst qualities. The summer she died, all I did was chew her out for everything I do now. I was like, "Mom, lay off the pot. Mom, don't pick fights. If you can't be nice, be quiet." I said everything you're saying to me now.
Did she listen?
Absolutely not.
Well, you being under the influence and obnoxious is just... You're either keeping her alive or trying to get yourself killed, and either way, it's just...
It's bad.
It isn't you. Look, here, your dad's book is dishonest and all those things you say it is, but the title is... There has to be an after Ashley, do have to let her die.
Okay. Now would be one of those times when I choose silence.
Great. Silence is great.
Julie takes Justin's hand and they zone out. Look at the water. Ashley enters and stands behind them watching. She wears the same clothing she wore in the first scene. She doesn't, by look or gesture, endorse their union. It's more of a sense of something unfinished. Not sinister, just not done. Whether her presence represents a bona fide haunting or a character's preoccupation is up to you. End of play.
Good job.